Hey everyone, I'm Orca Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. I am super excited about this video. So here's the deal, I really don't like making like top 10 videos on monsters because I feel like it's so subjective. You have controllers, attackers, you have support, you have tanks, they all work together. So how do you pick the top monsters? That's so hard and it's so subjective. Again, you can get like, this monster has this amazing trait that works really well with this other monster who isn't that good, but together they're unstoppable. And it's like, what do I do? How do I say that this monster is better than this monster, better than that monster? It's so hard. So I don't like doing it because it's just an argument and debate over who's better subjectively. But this video I'm super excited about because we actually have data. So one of the ways you can consider the best monsters is to just talk about who are the monsters that are the most used. Because the most used monsters is kind of a substitute for the best, because the reason they're the most used is because they're the best among what's available, given all of the current monsters. So with that being said, I am super excited to present to you the Monster Legends competitive wiki. I'm sure some of you guys already know about this website. What I didn't know is that they had player versus player season 78 usage. So huge shout out to GD Wingson for showing me this, and this is going to be exciting because basically the way it works is they go through the top 100 players, because you can see the top 100 players in PvP, and they looked at what monsters were being used in offense and defense, and they compiled a list of the most used monsters. So Grakon, as you can see, has 61 users. 61 players are using him in offense or defense, or I guess I should say he's used 61 times in either offense or defense, which I think is just super amazing and cool data to have. You can't say, oh, this monster's better when Grakon is being used more than anyone else. So alright, let's read through this, how they go about it. It's that time again, the end of the season, around 24 hours or under before it ends to be exact, so it's time to tally up the usage data to know exactly what everyone is using this season. Remember, none of these monsters are outright bad, except maybe a straggler or two, I find. All of the data is compiled from the top 100 players in the arena to get as close to estimate as what everyone is using. No wasting time, let's get right to it. It's important to point out this was recorded, this blog went up on June 22nd, and again, this is based on player versus player season 78. So I've been talking with Wingson and they're gonna release data. They've actually already released data for season 79. They do midweek and then they do the end of the season. So it's exciting to see how everything changes. It's exciting to see how the meta has changed. And with that being said, notice guys, I made a video talking about the top 3 monsters in my personal opinion, Grakon and Wormlad being 2 of them. And notice they are still the most used monsters in a mythic era. Grakon and Wormlad are still dominating the game, and the biggest reason I would argue is the dodge area trait being just so powerful, being able to work with taunt mythic monsters, with Erdr, with Unspeakable, with Armor Claw. You put any of these dodge area monsters with a taunt and you are good to go. So let's see, the way they tier are the Heavies. So these are monsters that saw 50 or more players using them. These monsters tend to be the huge powerhouse of the game and are getting so much usage for a good reason, simply because they dominate in caps the meta. These guys can also be just so overly used because they're really easy to fit onto teams. This is true, Grakon and Wormlad, they fit anywhere. There is no specific genre where you need them in. You just plop into a team and they're fine. Keep this in mind, especially in seasons that tend to have incredibly varied monster usage. So Grakon takes top number 1 with 61 uses. And I mean, it's pretty easy to say, right? If Grakon gets a turn in, you can dominate the game. If Grakon dies, he can resurrect and then dominate the game. Wormlad just being so versatile, I would imagine most people use him as support. You know, he can revive, he can remove positive effects, he can remove negative effects from your team. Phenomenal. Alright, then we have the Toughies. These are monsters that saw 20 to 49 players using them. These monsters, while not as amazing and destructive as the Heavies, tend to dominate most matches and are still capable of smashing up the meta. That or they're underused simply because players don't have access to them. So here's the thing, I imagine the Toughies, because I haven't really looked through the list too much, I just really quickly glanced at it. The Toughies is likely going to be, considering it's the top 100 players, it's likely going to be all of the race monsters. If they have if they have data on previous seasons, anytime there's a race monster, that monster typically tends to get usage because players will get that monster rank 3, rank 4, rank 5. And specifically when it comes to Miseris, a lot of players use them as an attacker because they can OT kill legendaries. So let's see who the top Toughies are. Miseris 43, Nor 42, Ondana 41. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the not the Megataunt monsters. We can't forget about the Golden Pass monsters. So also Golden Pass monsters and breeding monsters, for example, I think Daedalus was a breeding monster, Nightingale was a breeding monster. I imagine those are also going to have heavy usage for the fact that they're easy to get, right? Race monsters easy to get if you're in a good race team, and top 100 players, I guarantee you are in a good race team. And Golden Pass monsters, well, if you're in the top 100, you're probably spent on a Golden Pass or something. So, although I will say on Dana is getting a lot of usage, I've seen a lot of it at 150 using using the Pump Seed Staff and the other relic that just drains stamina. Urder surprises me at 40. I wonder if it's because... So Armor Claw was the first taunt monster to come out. Urder was probably the second one. I wonder if players just focused on ranking up Urder. In terms of tanking, I would say Urder is better than Armor Claw. Armor Claw is really more of a hybrid, better at attacking and tanking at the same time. So Urder at 40 uses, that's pretty good, especially when there wasn't an easy way to get Urder. Urder was a maze monster, actually. But I wonder if I'm not mistaken, this was the first... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the first maze monster, one of the first maze monsters, so maybe that's why a lot of players by this season have Urder and ranked up enough to use it. Daedalus, again, Brutalizer, another Golden Pass monster if you bought the exclusive pass, that's why it has a lot of uses. Also a top monster. Froma, so Froma is a pretty powerful monster, but I imagine not a lot of players have it. And of course, Hornet, dodge area mechanic, anticipation mechanic, just phenomenal. Santarion, our boy Santarion made the list. I love Santarion, just his Megaton mechanic is useful. And so what can you see looking at this? Well, the two dodge area monsters leading the pack. We have the race monsters, Nor Miseris, Golden Pass monster, a taunt monster, Mega Taunt monster, another taunt Golden Pass monster. Froma was a quest monster. I imagine after a while Froma's going to get no usage and it'll probably be replaced by Ondana, which is, yeah, I feel like by season 80 we're not going to see much of Froma. Hornet, I mean, amazing, right? If one of these didn't exist, I imagine Hornet would take their place. Let's scroll back up. And Santarion again, Megaton. So you see a lot of repetition. Dodge area, Megaton, Taunt. That's what's leading the pack. The mids. These are monsters that saw 10 to 19 players using them. And just because they're labeled as mids does not mean they are middling or bad by any means. It just means not every player was able to fit them into one of their teams, or it doesn't suit their strategy. Mids are still used by a sizable portion of the top 100, so they have good proper place in the meta for that. So Cyberel, one of the OG monsters, OG race monster, of course is going to get a lot of usage. Still a very powerful attacker. Nightingale, yeah, again, like a breeding event monster, of course is going to get usage. Moonhaze, a lot of players got Moonhaze. A lot of players were able to rank up Moonhaze relatively easier compared to other monsters. The extra churners. So I think Nor is just going to take the place and we're not going to see any extra churners. So Nightingale and Ra, we're probably not going to see any more usage from them anymore. Warmaster Thalassa, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting her to still be used so heavily. Unspeakable, here we have another taunt mythic monster. The hidden gems. This is a list that saw 2 to 9 players using them, so not that much. These monsters don't tend to fit on most teams, but seeing some players using them successfully making it in the top 100 is impressive enough, and for sure allows for these monsters to have somewhat proper place in the meta. Alright, cool. So Ilian, I can see Ilian not being used much just because it was harder to rank up. Nikasha, ooh, she's great. Dodge area and being able to block resurrection is powerful. Warmaster Ragnarok, my favorite. One of my favorites still to use. Blaz, he was behind a paywall, so I feel like it's a lack of accessibility to him. Armal, another paywall monster, but lots of players dub Armal the strongest mythic attacker. And in terms of stats and skills, yeah, very powerful. However, Armal really doesn't compare to the likes of Nor. In terms of offense, especially, if you get a guaranteed turn-in, the enemy doesn't have anticipation, Nor dominates. And honestly, even if you're facing Miseris, Nor dominates, because Miseris can't do anything in terms of anticipation. If you fight Hornet, now Hornet's more of a trouble, but still, Nor can dominate. Scrolling down, Armor Claw, 7 users. I'm not even one of them. I need to get into top 100 and make it into 8 users. Corruptus is phenomenal. But again, lack of like actually usability with him. Not lack of usability. Not that many players have him ranked up because he's a Forsaken monster, super hard to rank up. Elvira for offense, one of the best mechanics still against bases that can't deal with evasion. Tiny, one of the OGs, also not really OGs. I think second season of Golden Pass or free to play pass from that Golden Pass. Izel, Megaton mechanic, Kothor, race monster. I'm surprised he's as low as he is. So what are people using for attack? Oh, that's right. Nor has pretty much replaced Cawthor in terms of an attacker for PvP. That's what I would say. Because Cawthor is pretty good. Abysmus, he was behind the paywall. Madam Fusion, this was the other monster I dubbed as being really, really powerful. In terms of for offense, like if she's allowed to get a turn in, you're good to go. Lord Pumpseed, Savart, I'm surprised has 2 uses. Nazael, Forsaken Monster. The Stragglers, this is where one player was using them. These monsters tend to fit specifically on a team thanks to a specific strategy. So remntar, I'd imagine, for the skill mirror. Morgs, not Dilab, Morgs. I feel like it's just, I have this mythic, I might as well use them. Same with Josh Dub, same with Metal Beat. Like, none of these 3 are anything too amazing, I would say. Let's see, Brutalis, Taunt, Glamhead. I feel like Glamhead should get more usage. If players rank him up, he's definitely really good. Although I will say with Siamis being released, maybe by like season 80, 81, I don't think players are going to be using Glamhead. Siamis is basically Glamhead, a Thunder version, being able to quote unactivate, being able to possess. Guy Daigo, here's the funny thing about Guy Daigo. Guy Daigo, he's a Golden Pass monster, so you would expect more usage out of him. But I would argue that cooldown activation is just, it's not a powerful thing. However, it's becoming a super powerful thing. So probably for season 79, we might see more usage out of Gaidigo, or Gaidigo might die because everyone's going to have Siamis. So again, the team race monsters will dominate. We have Wildbird. Wildbird Elvira probably is what's being used. Zorky, race monster, or not race monster, Golden Pass monster, Watts, free Golden Pass monster, Urkin, I'm surprised. So, yeah guys, here we have the top monsters. Again, like shout out to Grakon and Wormlad, legendary monsters, still very relevant. What are we, like 6 months into the Mythic era? And it's still being dominated by legendary monsters. What does that have to tell you? To everyone that wanted to stop the game because of Mythic monsters, the meta is still ran by 2 legendary monsters. Alright, so even though that was season 78 data, I thought it'd be fun to kind of refresh on my season 79. And again, they do have data on season 79. I'll make an updated video, but I wanted to see what kind of opponents we saw that was on the list that are on here. Look, how interesting. 2 Thalassas and a Morgs. Let me take them on real quick. Let me finish them off. How dare you have Morgs on your team? Let me finish them off real quick and we'll go on and refresh and fight some more opponents. I think what I need to do, what I need to make my objective, is I need to get into top 100 so I can give another point to Armor Claw and another point to Warmaster Ragnarok. As far as Wormlad, he doesn't really need the extra points. Here, let's Death Door and bye-bye Thalassa. So I think I'm probably like top 150 right now. 179. Okay, cool. So yeah, my objective by the end of the season is going to be to get in top 100 and give another point to Armor Claw for the list. Alright, let's see what kind of monster we have. Brutalizer, Froma, Hornet, Nor, Miseris, Ondana, Izel, Cawthor, and Ondana. Let's refresh. Brutalizer again. Oh, same team. Grakon, Wormlad, there they are. Ooh, level 100 Remtar. Here, let's fight this base. Bringing that level 100 Remtar. You're the one with the 1 Remtar. Here, let's click fight. And we'll just save Rossi right off the bat. Sunburn, Remtar dies. Alright, Brutalizer. And again, guys, it's funny because it's the same monsters over and over again. It's the Golden Pass monsters. It's the exclusive Golden Pass monsters. It's the race monsters. That's all you're ever going to see in the top 100, I imagine. And then those exclusively hard to get monsters, they're gonna have less usage, but they're probably gonna be used by the top players just because they're the players that actually spent to get the monsters. All right, let's exit out and let's see. 2 Santarions, Miseris, Nord. We have Ragnarok. That base on the left just won't change. Here, let's refresh again, and look, another variation of it. And yeah, here, let's take it on since it keeps appearing. Let's take it on and let's see how they are. So Hornet, Brutalizer, and Froma going fast. Here's what Froma does if Froma's allowed to go first. Fantasy Drip. Alright, so drained all of my stamina thanks to relics. I got stamina leak as well. I get a churn in, so I'm actually going to dream big and we'll see what happens from there. Dream big. Froma gave evasion to the team. I'll do Despicable to get rid of positive effects. Brutalizer attacks me. I reflect. Gotta love the skill mirror mechanic. Morg's armor, anti-brutish system, now immune to torture and control. Save Rossi. This could have dealt some serious damage if it wasn't. Well, it does deal serious damage, but if it wasn't for that immune to torture, Froma would have died. We're gonna save Rossi regardless. Yeah, Froma would have taken heavy damage. Recharge. My magic. So now I'm trait disabled. Alright, let's see if I can finish off Froma, and Froma is dead. Alright, there you go. So yeah, Hornet, just that dodge. Again, like any taunt and dodge area mechanic, it is wonderfully wonderful. Alright, so since you're going to kill my Armor Claw, let's just go ahead and do this to you. Sunburn. Alright. Oh, he didn't go after Armor Claw. Oh, yeah, I got trait disabled. Duh. Alright, let's bring back... I think it's smarter to bring back Armor Claw. And then I can just OTK. Boom! There you have it. So again, you're seeing a lot of the monsters that are most commonly used. Now, are these the best monsters? You can argue on what it means to be the best, but they're definitely the most used monsters, and they're backed by the data. So these are the top monsters used from the top 100. So if you go to rankings and you just scroll down, again, these are the top monsters for in terms of offense and defense. For Season 79, they are going to have stats on the top monsters used in PvP and the top monsters used on defense, which I think will be very interesting. Look, there's another Wormlad Grakon base. Let's go ahead and refresh. There is, ooh, a Mr. Beast. I wonder how Mr. Beast is going to influence. Again, not a lot of players are going to have him at 150. You know what? Let's take him down. I haven't taken on a 150 Mr. Beast, so let's see how good he is. Let's see. What the heck? Strength? Why? I don't understand. He's not an attacker. Sometimes I don't understand these top 100 players. I don't understand them. Watch, if Mr. Beast doesn't kill Armor Claw, like, why? Why are you giving him strength? Oh, I'd rather have Miseris running strength. Guys, I don't understand sometimes. Here, let's do this. I don't understand sometimes. I'm ending the video after this. Let's refresh. Alright, the Master. I'd rather have Miseris doing all strength than a Mr. Beast doing all strength. Alright, we'll recharge again. Let's see what he does. Money can't burn out. Immune to torture is good. Here. Miseris dies. Remember to sub. Let's kill Miseris. Gotta love the light-based attack on a Fire Armor Claw. Alright, that's one down. Dilution Drip, Stamina. The most protectful, Megaton. Activate notifications. Okay, thank you. Let's damage you. Yeah, we might as well damage you. I'll revive Ragnarok. Dilution Drip. I resurrect. I will eat your cookies. That's fine by me. Eat my cookies. Let's revive Armor Claw. Fantasy Drip. I was expecting more. Oh, this is kind of bad. I was expecting more out of Mr. Beast. Dream again. Free life potions. Ouch. So I'm gonna lose, I think. But I'm not a fan of the Mr. Beast as an attacker. I feel like he didn't do much. Granted, I lost. I feel like it wasn't because of him. Fantasy Drip. How am I not dead yet? What's going on? Kill me. I have trait disabled. Dilution Drip. Okay, there we go. I think Froma did more. I think my misplay was reviving when I should have maybe revived with double damage. But yeah, not a fan of Mr. Beast. But it's going to be interesting to see how the meta changes with Mr. Beast. More importantly, with Siamis entering the season once the race is over, it's going to be interesting. Oh, look at Rosioku. It's going to be interesting to see that. So anyhow, guys, with that being said, I just wanted to make this video kind of highlighting the Monster Legends competitive fandom. So there will be a link in the description if you want to see the tier list for Season 78. And then I'm going to make an updated video for PvP Season 79 mid, and we'll see what monsters are there, how it changed in comparison to this. And I'm going to start making videos on this because I think this is interesting. Again, like, as cool as it is, as popular as it is to make a top 5, top 10 video, I liked when it's backed by data. And this is really cool. So shout out to the whole team working on this. I'm going through literally everyone's profile and seeing like, oh, let's see what's used the most, and kind of going through all of this. So I don't know. I think that's really awesome. That's really cool. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and remember to subscribe.